Is the US becoming a third world nation? What do you think? Yes, I'm talking about the US. You're right, United States of America. Do you see it going down? Because I honestly do. Let me share with you here my experience coming back from Europe. And I'm not saying Europe is perfect here at all. It's got its share of issues. It would be a completely other video here. So I want to focus on the United States. Arrival Thursday this week at Bush International Airport. So Houston, Texas, which is the fourth largest city in the US. So you would expect a pretty nice, well-organized airport, right? It's a lot of international traffic over there. We arrived early afternoon where you got all the European flights. So it was just a few days after Hurricane Beryl. So I don't think it was as busy as it usually is. But still, so we passed immigration. So we were on a very fast lane, American passports, no welcome home, no nothing from the officer. 2 questions. Where are you coming from? Paris. And then the logical next question was, do you have any food with you? It's like, no. Okay. Out. But no welcome, no nothing. So we were just out, luggage, and then for pickup. My husband came to pick us up. And that's where it gets interesting, is the whole airport has been under construction. When I say construction, it's more like upgrade because it's an old airport and they're trying to make it look nicer. But it's been going on for years, literally years. And it is still a mess, a complete mess. And here it's international arrival. So that's the face of the nation. When you arrive from abroad, that's the first thing you see. First is the officer that welcomes you or doesn't welcome. But then it's arrival. You get out and that's what you see. And here what you see is constructions and a true mess. You have just a line outside to stand. So it's covered. At least you're in the shade because it's Texas, summer, so 100 degrees. But it's about 2 meters deep. So you have people like that press forward and some that stay behind. And in the middle, you need to let the flow of people go further out to find a spot for the pickup. And you have a few employees that just go through and just push you pretty much saying, move, you can stay here. I mean, you're being treated like cows, pretty much, seriously. And there's no room, no place to sit. My parents came a year and a half ago. Exact same situation, same terminal. It took me about 45 minutes driving to get there because of the construction everywhere at the airport. Traffic is extremely slow. Roads are blocked. I mean, it's impossible to get there. And once you get there, it's really hard just to park, to stop, to pick up someone. If the people are old or, I mean, they don't have a place to sit. It is the face of the nation. That's what it is. When I was there standing with my girls and our suitcases waiting for my husband to pick us up, I was seriously thinking Indian airports are actually much better organized. You go to Delhi, you go to Mumbai, this is something else. You go to third world nations, you get very often a newer, nicer airport, much better organized than what you have here in a first world nation, supposedly. We need to upgrade our infrastructures. I mean, where is the tax money going? It's not going into infrastructures. When you see our roads here, and I'm comparing, actually it's a good comparison with France. France has pretty good roads. At least, I mean, a lot of tax monies goes everywhere just like any other country, but at least the roads are in decent shape. I drove in different regions, very good roads. Here in Texas, at least, you go and the roads, you've got holes, you go into the country, some of them are terrible. And you wonder, where is our tax money going? And that's local taxes. Who knows? Who knows? But, so, arriving here, as I said, it was just a few days after Hurricane Beryl, which landed Monday morning. So it was a Category 1 hurricane that arrived just off the coast from Houston, pretty much, and went through the west side of Houston, then up north and toward Louisiana afterwards. It left just shy of 3 million people without power on Monday. I think the number was 2.8 million. And they've been restoring power very slowly, extremely slowly. As of today, so I'm making this video Saturday afternoon, there are still 800,000 people without power, mostly in the Houston area. And they are saying they're working on it, obviously, but it's gonna really linger into next week. And they have a remaining 300,000. They're not quite sure when exactly into next week. So it's concerning, right? I mean, how long does it take to restore power? I understand it's a hurricane, but it wasn't a Cat 5, and we are not in Puerto Rico or Haiti, it's Texas. And it's a big city, it's 100 degrees outside. And during all this time, guess where is the governor? Where is Governor Abbott? Because, I mean, that's a hurricane, in advance it's coming, you need to be prepared, make sure everything is prepared. It's Houston again. Houston gets quite a bit of heat between the flooding, the plenty. Should be ready, right? And the governor should be right there. Well, no. The governor is on a trip abroad. So he went on a business trip to Asia. We're talking Taiwan, Japan, and South Korea, all sponsored by an NGO, Economic Development Corporation, so not paid by the state as such, but still, he went on a business development trip for electronics. That's where all the microchips and semiconductors are made. So yes, economic is very important for Texas. It's a rich state. But regardless, it was not the right timing. You don't go on a business trip abroad while your taxpayers are here getting hit by a hurricane with 3 million without power. I mean, who is paying for your salary here to represent and help? Not sure he would have done much anyway, but at least show compassion, be present, try to push things forward. But no, he's on a trip. So all this just makes you wonder, Texas, United States, first world nation? Really? Still? I don't know. But talking about hurricane damages, I had the discussion in France with my family, my friends. I was worried about the house, obviously. So insurance damages. And I explained to them how the insurance works here and how much we pay for insurance on the house, which is insanely expensive. Costs have been rising steadily every year because of all the catastrophes we've had. So if I look 10 years ago, it was half the price for the insurance, similar coverage. So now we pay twice as much, meaning the deductible, given it's a percentage of the amount covered, as well with the increase of the value of real estate, the deductible increased. And here, even if we have to replace the roof, we're probably not going to be covered. It's going to be the deductible. So you still have quite a bit out of pocket, like all the damages we've had outside the yard and so on. All this is out of pocket, for instance. So it's not cheap. It's not cheap. And back home, they were kind of, wow, I can't believe how much you pay for the coverage you've got. For Europeans, it's a different concept. The prices are not comparable at all. And when I say prices, insurance is just one thing here. We're talking house insurance. We're not even going into health insurance, which is just not comparable at all. If I take the example, we were looking into braces for the girls. Back home, I was talking with friends. It's free for kids. You do not pay a dime. And here, I mean, I had a first quote, which was, it's a 2-stage, but yeah, it's going to cost at least $5,000 for the stage 2, the main one. It's expensive. So a lot of things are actually cheaper. I would say in France, I'm not comparing other countries because I haven't been. Also, I think it's probably true for other European countries, but here in France, costs are a lot cheaper for a lot of things, including food, grocery shopping. Meats is probably it's still less expensive, but not as I would say mostly it's about half the price when you go grocery shopping. For a lot of things, it's half the price, but meat is probably a bit more than half. It's not as expensive as the US, but not as cheap as other things. So, but yeah, grocery is less expensive. Fuel is more. Fuel in your car is a lot more expensive. It's how much was it? I paid, because I did drive in various regions in France when I was there. It was €1.84 per liter. So you multiply it more or less by 3.8, almost 4 to get a gallon. It's a lot more expensive than the US. But that drives people to go into electrical cars because electricity is cheaper. There were issues, I know, with Russia and getting gas and electricity and so on, but electricity is still a lot cheaper, at least in France, compared to the US. So people are really moving towards electrical cars. And I had a very interesting discussion with a taxi driver here. We did Uber one day, and we were lucky. We got a big Tesla, very nice driver, who chatted with me. I asked him how he liked the Tesla compared to previous car. He's had it for 2 years. He's doing Uber in Paris, but he also uses it on privately for vacations. So we compared short distance with long distance. But overall, it's the same comparable here, meaning he pays about 30% of what he used to pay. So much, much cheaper to have electrical versus fuel. And I see some of my friends moving and changing, getting electrical cars. It's cheaper, it's more quiet. They're happy with it. Long distance, you do have to make stops. That's the only thing, but apparently the car calculates everything, tells you where to stop. It's like all organized. And it makes you take a break on the way, because every 2 hours or so you do have to stop. So for those who want to just go straight, that's not the best, but it's cheaper. So just some comparisons here, but I would say my first impression going back was coming back here with the airport, the outages, the governor not even present. We're wondering, where are we going at the end? Tell me what you think. What's your impression? Because not all of you are in Texas. How do you see it going? Do you see the difference and going it down where you are? Please post in the comments below and let me know what you think. Thank you all for listening. And if that wasn't enough, just a few hours after shooting that video, here's what happened. Assassination attempt on Donald Trump. So now, tell me, with today's technology, can't we detect a sniper that far away from the stage? I just don't get it. I honestly don't get it. And it's just, speculation are going on right now. Was it really an attempt? Was it a failed? What happened? We will never know. That's my guess here. Do we know what happened with JFK? How long ago was that? So do we expect to know here? Seriously? I don't know, but how can that happen? How can that happen in the United States? Presidential candidate, former president? And there you go. It's just, in my opinion, just going to increase even more the division in that country. Of course, half of the country hates that guy. The other half loves him. It's same in France, very divided country. Where are we going, folks?